Coming up today, we're chatting with You and I prior to their gig at King Street.
So it's kind of like looking back on footage of your first football season or something like.
I'll tell you about a $200 bar tab that we're giving away, and Dan will tell you about the Newcastle Williamtown Air Show happening this weekend. Produced on Awabakal and Warramai land, this is The Good Stuff, powered by BYD on Newcastle Live.
This is
Good.
good stuff.
The good stuff.
We're giving away a $200 voucher to spend at Goodnight's Bar on King Street. To be in the running, all you need to do is subscribe to our weekly newsletter. We'll be drawing the winner next week. To subscribe to the newsletter and find out more, head on over to newcastlelive.com.au.
This is
Good stuff. Iconic Aussie band You and I are playing King Street this weekend. We were able to have a quick chat with them before the gig. How's the tour going so far?
Going pretty well, yeah. We're 1 week in and we've got another 6 to go. We keep adding shows. We've added shows in Tasmania and yeah, it's going pretty well.
That'd be a good feeling to be adding shows.
Yeah, and Hobart we haven't been to in, I don't know, I think last time we played there was a festival maybe 5 years ago. It might have even been before COVID.
Yeah.
So, and they've got this beautiful theatre down there called the Odeon.
Okay.
So playing there, it's always nice to play, nice places.
I'd love to talk to you about your Sound As Ever album, which has just celebrated its 30th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
What are the songs from that album that you still love playing today?
Well, to be honest, we don't play a whole. I mean, Berlin Chair is off that record, but yes, it's an interesting record. We were pretty young and we were basically just smashing through riffs and trying to work songs out from riffs, basically. We got better and better at it. So it's kind of like looking back on footage of your first football season or something like. You're not that good and you can kind of, that, and you'd rather just go, okay, well, that was fine, but, everything that happened after was better. So that's kind of how the band feel about it. But at the same time, there are people who love that record and, we just put up a bunch of signed copies online and like within about a few hours, they all sold out. So people do love that record. So, yeah, I mean, it's good. And the songs are very jammy in a way, and they are fun to play, and they're kind of heavy and lumbering. But, I think some of those songs, if some band put them out next year, they'd still fit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though they're over 30 years old, I think some young dudes from Newcastle pumped out a few of those tunes exactly the same. I don't think they would age that much.
No, I don't think so either. And honestly, I think it's a perfect segue to your latest album. It's called The Lives of Others. And listening to it, it was so refreshing yet nostalgic. It sounds like there's heaps of, early noughties, late 90s influence in there. But then there are also moments where I'm like, that's so Beatlesy. It's so cool how much diversity is within that album.
Well, I think everyone just puts their 2 cents in. The Tim's songwriting is, he's very, very good at it, and it also depends on what everybody is sort of consuming musically over the period prior to that, which will often influence it. Like if someone's listening to John Cooper Clarke poems or recordings, then it that might be reflected in the vocal delivery, for example, or whatever. So it's an interesting record. It's the first record we made where we weren't all in the same room together. We had to do it all separately through COVID.
Yeah, wow.
Which was interesting. It was it was more of an experiment than anything.
Yeah,
It could have just. I expected it to kind of not really work, and then after COVID, we come back and work on it further. But I think the dudes just didn't have anything to do through COVID, and so it was the main focus. And nothing like 4 people deciding that's the only thing they can really do and that focus on it. So it's either that or go for a jog around the park. So
within your 5Ks.
Within my 5Ks, exactly. Yeah.
Do you think there were any breakthrough moments not being in the same room together?
I think it does give it gives you space to work on parts without anybody else around, so that often parts can be clunky, and they're just like before the song really takes shape, everyone's just kind of like feeling around it. And so to sort of do it in layers meant that you could really sit with the part that you're trying to put on it and try different versions of it before you sort of put it forward to everybody else. Do you know what I mean? Rather than being in a studio and it's like, okay, well, today we're going to do overdubs, so it has to be done today. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in this lockdown situation, it's like, well, I might get up early and see what happens, or no, that's not working today. I'm just going to bin that, walk around the park, maybe tonight or tomorrow try again, and invariably you go, oh yeah, no, this is a better idea. So without the constraints of a schedule, I think it kind of helped. Yeah.
Are there any moments on the album that you're particularly proud of, or that are exciting to you to include?
I think that the song "Lives of Others" came out really well. I thought. I mean, there are clear, catchy songs on it, but I think the song "Lives of Others." Sometimes songs just naturally just lock in, and that one locked in, and it always sounds really good live, and that's always a fun thing to have. A song can exist on a record, but if it exists out in the real world in front of an audience and engages an audience, then that's another life it has. Do you know what I mean? So, and some songs don't translate, where they're either too finicky and complicated, got too many parts, or they just don't. But that one really does. So I do enjoy playing that song.
We kind of touched on this earlier, but what is the current set list shaping up like? Or how is it shaping up? It's all over
the place. It really is all over the place. Like I think, and that's the problem that we have. It's potentially a good problem, but we can put a set list together which we think people will go, well, this is not kind of what we want. There are too many deep cuts or album tracks and not enough singles. But in rehearsals and I was kind of like, I don't know, like these ones are good, but we're debating whether the list was too obscure. And then one of us piped up and said, well, that one, and that one were singles. So they had videos that were made for them and they came out on their own. So how can they be obscure or a deep cut or something? So you forget that, over an amount of time that people are consuming it and it's there in them. And so you just kind of just give the set list a chance. And but when you get out there in front of people, that some songs aren't working. People go, okay, I know what it is, but move on, and other songs they're like, oh, I haven't heard this in years, and they're into it. So you gotta read the room at the same time.
Yeah, it's a fine line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I can't wait to see you play at King Street Hotel tonight. It's sure to be really fantastic. And look, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you there.
This is where it
sounds good.
Good stuff.
This weekend, the Newcastle Williamtown Air Show will take over the skies of the Hunter. The event promises an unforgettable experience for aviation enthusiasts and families alike, with flyovers and aeronautic action taking place on Saturday, and of course a massive RAF base open day on Sunday. With so much going on, we thought we'd put together a handy little guide for you to make sense of it all. Head over to newcastlelive.com.au to give it a look.
Newcastle Live. Newcastle Lab.
That's it for the good stuff for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on Monday from 4 p.m. for more of the good stuff.